Hello BookTube, welcome to LizziefayeLovesBooks. I'm Elizabeth and it's halfway through the month of April and we are exactly halfway through the Topple readathon 3.0, and I don't think I've taken a readathon this seriously since probably my first BookTubeathon, or maybe the first time I did Ribsat. I don't know, but I'm having a blast just reading and focusing on reading and doing as much as I can to read as much as I can. And I'm fortunate enough to have two part-time jobs that offer some time during the course of the day where I can read. So I've been utilizing that time, and just about any other possible minutes that I have, I've got an audiobook in my ear. So I'm just really excited about how much I have read so far. Also, my 13-year-old daughter Katie has been doing this readathon as well. She does not have a BookTube channel or anything like that, but when she heard me talking about it, I should start by saying that she thinks she can read faster than me, and she's right. She can actually read faster than me, but she doesn't focus all of her time on reading like I do. Of course, she has school, but she does have some built-in reading time at school. But then, you know, there's other things that a teenager wants to do when they get home besides have their nose in a book. But she has done really well. This first week of Topple, she has finished 2 tomes, and then we've been buddy reading a book in the car. We've been listening to it, and it's one that she's read before, so she's been listening to it when she's in the car, and then I've been listening to it at times when she's not with me. But it's a book she's read anyway, so it's fine. I went on Twitter and I typed up how many pages I had read, and then also how many pages she's read, and I think she kind of surprised herself about how much she's gotten read, and she has now challenged herself to read even more this coming week, because truth be told, I think she's trying to outdo me. But that's okay. I'm excited. Whatever it takes to encourage her to read is great, and I'm excited about that. So I think she's probably going to jump in here any minute, because she's had a really fun time lately kind of making fun of how I do my videos and how I start my videos. And so I'm just going to go ahead and continue with the video, and whenever she gets ready to come in here, then she'll probably be here. So what I have read so far, I have finished 2 tomes, one on audio and one in print, and then I am halfway through 2 more, and I've actually read over 2,000 pages if you count the audiobooks for the first week. So it's really the equivalent of 3 to 4 tomes. So the first book I finished was my graphic novel, and that is Wonderstruck. It's 629 pages. It's by Brian Selznick, and if you've ever read a Brian Selznick book, you know that about half of the book is pictures and half is text. So I am counting this as my graphic novel, and I thought it was a wonderful story. It's just a really beautiful story. One half of the story of pictures, starts out in 1927, and then the story in text starts out in 1977. Well, eventually the 1927 story goes forward in time, and near the end the 2 stories come together in such a beautiful way. And one thing I didn't realize about this book is that the main characters of this book are hearing impaired. So I often hear sometimes people are looking for different books to read for diversity or own voices or things like that, and this would be a good book for that, because it is from the perspective of 2 different people who are hearing impaired. And this is also the graphic novel that Katie read. She had thought about looking for a comic book bind-up, but I already had this checked out from the library, and so I just went ahead and encouraged her to read it. And she took this to school yesterday, Thursday, and had it about 2/3 to 3/4 finished by the end of the school day. And then she finished up the last few pages last night and checked off her second tome for the week. Now, the other book that I have finished is my adult novel, which is Shelters of Stone by Jean M. L. This is book 5 in the Earth Children series. I've been listening to this on audio playaway from the library. It's just a little MP3 type player that you hook headphones in, and the whole book is on this player. Thankfully, this has a speed up function, because at normal speed it would have taken about 33 hours. And I didn't do the math to figure out exactly how many hours that it did take me. I sped it up to as high as this will allow me to go, which says 2 times. There's a 1 time and a 2 times, and I don't really think that means that it's twice as fast as it would have been normally, but that could be what it means. I don't know. I feel like it did take me more than 15 and a half hours to listen to it. but I did really focus on this pretty hard. I had this with me almost at all times. I had a different audiobook going in the car, but when I wasn't in the car, when I was anywhere else where I was going to be walking around and I wasn't going to have to be talking to anybody, I had this in my ear, so that by a little after midnight last night, I did finally finish it. In fact, I will say it was probably about 2 a.m. my time, but I'm still going to say I finished this within the first week, and I counted this done on Thursday night. Now, this book has taken a lot of abuse from various people who have reviewed it on Goodreads. There are people who enjoyed it, and there are people who just thought it was a waste of time and a waste of paper and all of that. I am somewhere in between. I really do understand why some people don't like it. It is very slow and detailed. There's a lot of repetition, but I really did enjoy the story. Even though it's slow, you just kind of get to meander along through the story with the main characters, and you really feel like you're getting to see what their day-to-day life is. And I thought that was fascinating. I really appreciate all of the research and the time and effort that it took for the author to write this whole series. And I'm definitely going to read the last one. You know, is it the perfect book? No. Is it really, really long? Yes. But I think if you enjoy this type of story, and if you have already read the first 2 or 3 and you want to see what happens to our main characters, then you should go for it. But definitely, if you're a slow reader, go for the audio. If you're a fast reader, you could probably flip through the pages rather quickly, because like I said, there is a lot of repetition. So my first buddy read that I'm doing is with Elizabeth Tyree, and we're reading Gemena, which is the second in the Illuminate files, and we are at the halfway point right now, and this book is really fantastic. It is crazy, it's insane, and there's so much action. It's there's some gross parts, and you know, it's just a really fun book to buddy read. One thing I will say about this book, which I also mentioned when I first talked about Illuminate after I read it, it's censored because of the nature of the format. It's you know, it's emails and files and things like that. So all of the bad words are censored out. Well, you know, I don't like foul language, so you would expect that I would enjoy the fact that these words are censored out, which part of me does, but on the other hand, because your natural human tendency is to try to figure out what's been censored out, it makes your head go through every single bad word you could think of to try to come up with what that was supposed to be, that you end up getting more foul language in your head than you would if you just read the words. So that part is kind of aggravating, because I don't like having foul language in my head. Those words are not in my vocabulary, and so that's kind of frustrating. It's funny, but it's frustrating at the same time, you know, for a prudish church lady like me. So that's one issue with the book, but the storyline is great. There's been a lot of twists and turns so far, and I am really enjoying the book. All right, so my second...
Welcome to LizziefayeLovesBooks. I'm Elizabeth, and today we're back with a Tome, Topple, TBR, and update.
And there's my second buddy reader. Let's get her on camera here.
Let's not.
Katie is buddy reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire with me. I am listening to it in the car, and we've been listening to it together. Although when she's at school, I've still been listening to it on my own. So she hasn't listened to the full amount that I have, but she's already read it twice. And she says that she's probably going to read it again in its entirety, so we'll see. But anyway, this is our buddy read. This counts for her buddy read and a second buddy read for me. So get up here. Come on. So this is Katie. She's 13, and this is her cat Morris, who is, what, 3, 4? He is, he's a mess, but he's a sweet cat, and so she wanted to bring him in the video. So he is her, he's her buddy reader. So what is your favorite part of Harry Potter Goblet of Fire?
I don't have one.
You don't have a favorite part of it? You've read it twice now, 2.5 times.
I don't have one. What is that, buddy?
What is your favorite Harry Potter book?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No.
You like them all equally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She only read Harry Potter for the first time this past summer, and within about a 6-week period, she had read them all twice. So she has turned into an instant Harry Potter fan. So she was excited that I'm finally getting to the fourth one. I started reading them about the same time as her, and I'm still just on my first go-round. All right, so Katie, so tell us about the series book that you're reading, or that you read.
You can talk about
She
it.
has
I read it too.
She has finished her series book for Tome Topple, and it is... She doesn't want to talk. Can you believe she's my child? She has finished The Blood of Olympus, which means now that she has finished the Heroes of Olympus series, I would like to tell you that she's read this series twice, but she read all 4 of the first books and then read about half of this one. I don't know what.
And then I stopped because I didn't want to finish it.
She didn't want it to be over, so she stopped reading, and then she started all the way back over again with the Percy Jackson books. So she's practically read both series twice, except that she's only read the second half of this book once. But she did finally finish it this time, and now she's excited to read Trials of Apollo. So the only other book I started during the first week is Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. This is the 3rd book in the Farseer trilogy, and I haven't gotten very far in this. In the print book, I'm on page 66. I started out on audio. I've got it on Hoopla on my phone, and I guess for whatever reason, I just chose to go ahead and continue with Shelters of Stone rather than continue to use up battery on my phone. And so I will go ahead and finish listening to this on my phone, but I just for some reason got into Shelters of Stone and wanted to get that one done. So this morning I went to pick up with Assassin's Quest on my phone, and my phone was almost dead. I had to go plug it in. So I ended up putting in a whole nother book, a whole different tome, on my CD player in my kitchen, and but I will get back to Assassin's Quest. I got a little bogged down in the beginning. Sometimes it's hard for me to start a book on audio because I kind of get lost in the backstory and the explanations of, getting things started. And so yesterday while I was subbing, because I didn't want to read any more in Gemena, I went ahead and picked up Assassin's Quest, and I read a little bit in print just to kind of get me a little more grounded in exactly where the story was at this point. And so I think that helped a lot. Now I'm ready to pick back up with the audio on Hoopla, and I am excited to get this book finished. So I've finished 2, and I have 3 underway, and then I have a couple of others that I hope to get to, because I'm halfway done with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and I'm halfway done with Gemena, and then just a little ways into Assassin's Quest. So since I was able to finish the equivalent of 3 books in the first week, I should be able to finish the equivalent of 3 books in the second week. I should be able to finish what I've started and read at least 1 more. I'm not sure exactly which one that will be. More than likely we'll tackle Eldest. I did start this just a little bit this morning on audio. I have it on CD from the library. It is 20 discs at 23.5 hours, and I don't have any way to speed it up on my CD player. When I finish Harry Potter in the car, I'll be able to listen to this in the car, and then I'll probably go ahead and just work on it a little bit in the house on the CD player. But I also have Assassin's Quest, so probably when my phone is charging, I will work on this one, because I like to have a backup plan and a contingency plan so that when my phone is charging, I can't be wasting that time. I got to be listening to something else. But because I really enjoyed the Shelters of Stone and I really want to finish the series, I went ahead and did order the Land of Painted Caves on Playaway. So it will, the library has it, so it'll be just like this, a little MP3 player that's super easy to stick in my pocket and attach headphones, and I can listen to this, wherever I go. So I do want to finish this by the end of the month, I hope. I probably won't get done with both of those during this next week, but I will go ahead and at least read as much as I can and continue on and try to finish those 2 by the end of the month. That only leaves one other one that I mentioned in my TBR, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I'm really tempted to start this too, but I'm going to try not to bite off more than I can chew, and if I don't get to this one, it's okay. But I'm definitely keeping this one on my radar because I do want to read this at some point in the near future. So this is Katie's stand-in, since she won't get on the video anymore. Katie is reading currently the first book in the Kane Chronicles, which is The Red Pyramid, and this morning she's already read about 10 or more chapters of it. There's no...
157 pages.
She's read 157 pages of it so far. There's no school today, so both the girls are out of school, and so we're able to read as well as do a few other household chores. She says she plans on finishing it today. We'll see about that. She is a fast reader, and so, you know, she might. If you want to know if she does finish it today, I will probably report in on Twitter in the morning and let you know exactly how much she did get finished. So for our challenges, I've finished my graphic novel, I finished my adult book, I am halfway through 2 buddy reads, and my series book is barely started. Then for Katie, she's finished her graphic novel, she's finished her series book, she started another series book, she is halfway through a buddy read, the Harry Potter book with me, and then for an adult book, we weren't quite sure exactly if she would be able to do this challenge or not. I was having a hard time at first thinking of an adult novel that would be appropriate for a 13-year-old that is a tome, you know, 500 pages or more, that would be something she would even be willing to read. So I suggested The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I've read this one at least 3 or 4 times, and I love the whole series. It's just wonderful. And she's seen the movie, so even though I didn't first read them until college, I know that kids her age have read these. So I feel sure that she could read this, but she's having a hard time getting into it. She's read so far, I think, about 3 pages, and I made her promise me that she would read at least 1 chapter and before she, you know, decides yay or nay that she would finish it or not. We've still got another week, so we'll see if she is able to complete this challenge or not. But I think, you know, for a 13-year-old to complete a challenge to read an adult book is pretty good, even if she makes an attempt at it. So we'll see how she does with this one. But she's definitely read more than 1 tome so far, and I believe her page count is somewhere over 1,300 pages now. Mine's a little over 2,000, and of course I'm figuring in the audiobooks and translating those into page count. All of my books are audio except 2, Gemena and Wonderstruck. So those are our tomes that we're toppling this week for Tome Topple. I am excited about how much we've gotten read. So I believe through this Tome Topple experience, I will have finished 2 series and made progress in at least 3 others. So that's pretty exciting, since this is my year of the series and I'm working hard to finish several series this year. So are you reading anything for Tome Topple? If so, let me know down below in the comments. That's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.